Don't have that much to talk about. I just wanted to make a video, wrap up the week quickly because I didn't hardly read anything. Here I am, you see, in a new Airbnb. I'll do a tour later. Uh, like every time I move, I have trouble figuring out how to get it set up. I also have a new phone. This is being filmed on a new phone. Still got my own old phone, which is good. Handy to have. Battery doesn't work very well right now, but it's good to have a backup phone on the road. Madrid is awesome. It's beautiful. The sun is shining. In fact, there's a little too much glare outside. I do have a patio, but I didn't feel ambitious enough to figure out how to set up out there. Still got the headset. I did buy a channel update, I guess. I bought a microphone, um, and I was going to start recording with that, but getting it set up and looking at all the little icons everywhere and all the little press three times for this and to connect this and put the magnet on here and put the air filter thing on here. I was like, I can't do that right now. I can't deal with that. I got a lot going on. I got paperwork to put in and things. So I haven't had much time to read. The flight was okay here. That's really the only time I did any reading was on the 3-hour flight from Tirana to Madrid. Very crowded flight, very crowded metro. I got here 11 o'clock on Thursday night, I guess it was. Metro in Madrid is packed at 11 o'clock at night on a weekday night, and came home. Was up late doing a bunch of paperwork kind of things. Didn't get to sleep and had these weird dreams of being crushed by crowds because of the airport and the metro. But everything's getting back to normal. So what did I read this week? Haven't quite finished it yet. I was going to do this as a separate video at one point. But I guess I'll talk about it now because I've read about 4/5 of it. It's a fantastic book about the magazine Astounding, and mainly and about the golden age of science fiction, mainly covering the the story of it through the lives of four people: John Campbell, the editor, the highly influential editor of Astounding, who under his pen name Don A. Stewart was rapidly becoming one of the best writers in the genre. He wrote his most famous story today is still "Who Goes There," which I think was almost his last published story, which was adapted into The Thing in the 50s, and then of course even to a better version of The Thing by John Carpenter in I guess it would have been the 80s. That's how he's now. But then he decided to subvert or to assume his own creativity into his work as an editor. He really believed in science fiction, the idea of it to change the world. He thought he could effectively do that by nurturing other writers. One of the first writers he nurtured was Isaac Asimov, who was only like 18, 19 when he started. And so this book covers that whole period from the 30s through the war into the 50s. And it's sort of a simultaneous biography of Campbell and Asimov and Heinlein and L. Ron Hubbard. Ron Hubbard was probably in his 30s then. Heinlein was around 40. They were already adults, which makes them different than a lot of the other writers that Campbell nurtured. But it's a fascinating book if you're interested in science fiction of the era and how it came to be shaped. You really have to read this book, and there's quite a lot of revelations in it. L. Ron Hubbard is an apt pick because he often gets kind of pushed to the side when people talk about the history of the genre because they don't want to get into the Scientology thing. But Scientology is a big part of this story, bigger than I think a lot of people who haven't looked into it specifically know, and it's quite fascinating. This is a real biography. It's not It's not kind of a fan biography or anything. It's got warts and all. It's very fascinating, and you can see how science fiction of the time influenced many other elements of society. You know, all the way from the weird occult stuff that Hubbard brought into it, and you know, then nuclear energy, the nuclear bomb, all plays into this because this does go through the war period. Uh, so it's a fantastic read. I highly recommend it. Like I said, anybody who cares about the golden age of science fiction. I've got one more section to go, and it's going in quite a direction. So that's all I really had to talk about. I am a little um, tense about. Well, I had kind of a cold and stuff that I got from all the traveling. You know, being breathed on by other people and things. So I'm recovering from that. I've been out a little in the neighborhood. I've been in this neighborhood before, the Usera neighborhood of Madrid, sometimes called the Chinatown of Madrid. There are a lot of Asian businesses here, but I wouldn't say it's predominantly Asian or anything. Um, by the Madrid River, which is an incredible place to walk, which is crowded with bicycles and people out for the day, and people exercising, and it's just a wonderful place to be. I love Madrid so much. Hopefully I'll talk about it more and get to do some more fun things while I'm here after I do kind of like a lot of paperwork and things, and I have to send off for various reasons that are really kind of boring, but are taking a lot of my time. And I've got to get more reading done. Got to get more reading done for this BookTube channel. I have a couple lists of things to do. I have a bunch of stuff due back at the library that I haven't started yet. I'm still dealing with all the things I didn't finish in September. So I want to make sure to do my main two reading goals this month are going to be one of the Robert Howard books. I was going to read King Cole, the Del Rey edition of King Cole, but I'm kind of a little bit burned out on fantasy sort of language and imagery and all that. So I might put that aside. Maybe I'll read his boxing stories or something, but one of those. And then I'm going to start Villette as soon as I finish this Astounding book, because I don't want another Victober to go without finishing Villette, because I said I was going to read it last year too. So we'll see how that goes, or maybe I'll try and be consistent. Consistency is important on BookTube, we're told, and this is a little disjointed because I'm out of practice, but I don't think I'll be doing one a day anymore, so you'll get some relief there. We'll see how it goes. Okay, talk to you later.